There are two sides to short sales, the buyer and the seller. Ron, what should a seller do if he or she thinks that a short sale might be the best option?
The first thing they probably should do is talk to a HUD-approved counseling agency to go through the different options. A short sale is really probably the last resort, always. I counsel clients to look at doing a mortgage modification first or a forbearance, and really sometimes even a Chapter 13, which does allow the homeowner to keep the property, and they can stay in a Chapter 13 for up to 5 years. So those are really the three options I go through first. The problem with those is you have to have the finances to be able to make the mortgage payment if you have that modification, if you do a forbearance, or if you're in a Chapter 13. So the short sale is kind of the last thing I go to with my clients. And you have to be careful with them, because one of the biggest issues we deal with short sales today, of course, is the tax liability issue. One of two things is going to happen. If you do a short sale on a property, you're going to have a deficiency or you're going to have an income tax liability. You're not going to have both unless you have a second mortgage. If you have a second mortgage, then you're potentially looking at a deficiency on your first and a deficiency on your second and an income tax liability on that one as well. So it gets rather complex. A lot of times I actually refer my client to an attorney first, either a real estate attorney or to talk with a bankruptcy attorney first. And there's things that bankruptcy attorneys and real estate attorneys can tell our clients that we're not allowed to. So a lot of times I will have clients talk with an attorney as well, because one of the issues is tax consequences. There's a federal bill that was passed in 2007, it's H.R. 3648, that was designed to protect the homeowner on their primary residence. That's one of the keys. Short sales are for primary residents. Very few banks will work with investors on short sales. There's exceptions to that. Once in a while they will, but the circumstances have to be right. The tax liability is a big issue. That the House bill that passed in 2007 actually was extended to January 1st of 2012. There's some local legislation here in the state of Colorado that has changed as well, and those things will affect whether or not an individual has an income tax liability on their property. So that's one of the biggest issues that people need to look out for.
Billie Joe, what should a buyer look for in short sales?
Well, I think in today's real estate market, a short sale is an excellent buy. It might even be a better buy than a foreclosure, and certainly for someone who is selling their house at fair market or slightly below fair market, it makes it very attractive for a buyer. I would recommend that the buyers work with an experienced realtor who knows how to handle short sales and negotiation. It's a very tedious, long process. It requires a lot of patience on the buyer to go through the process and feel like they're not really in control of the process. But once it's completed, they can end up with an excellent value that has the potential to have a rise in equity.
So should a buyer approach a short sale with caution?
I don't know necessarily that you need to use with caution. Again, if you use an experienced realtor, they will be able to guide you through that process to find the short sales that are going to close. There's a national statistic right now that only 20% of short sales actually make to the closing table. So it's critical that you are working with an agent who can work with the other agent who is experienced in short sales. So I think you need to pick who you're working with and pick the properties well if you're going to make an offer on them.
So talking about the experience that your realtor has, Ron, what should a seller look for when looking for short sale services?
The first thing they should ask them is, how long have you been in the business? If you've been in the business for 2 years, you're not going to be a short sale expert. I'm sorry, it doesn't happen. The next question I would ask them is, how many short sales have they completed personally? Not how many short sales have they had a third party involved in that has done the short sale for them. Because 99% of the time, when you have a real estate broker that is having somebody else handle the short sale for them, what that means is they have no experience at it, but yet they're promoting themselves as if they do. That's a huge issue. Brokers, you know, this is a recent phenomenon. I was doing short sales almost 20 years ago. Everybody's trying to jump on the bandwagon now. These things are not easy to do. You have to know what you're doing. It's actually a good way to lose your real estate license if you don't have the experience at it. So the first thing, find out the broker's experience. Is there a third party involved? If the broker's telling you that he's got a third-party company that's going to do the short sale, then he needs to find somebody else.
And I would add to that too, a lot of people tout that they are successful at short sales. Doing one short sale is not a success. Maybe even doing 5 isn't a success. It takes a lot of experience, and I would ask for the actual copies of the approval letters that they've been able to get for their clients. Someone who can produce those is someone who is a short sale experienced realtor.
And from the buyer's perspective, what should they look for if they're seeking short sale services?
From the buyer's perspective, I'd also seek out an experienced short sale lister. They're the ones who know how short sales work. They're going to be able to ask the pertinent questions of the other agent that you'll be approaching that has the short sale. You really need to, again, work with that agent to find out, do they know what they're doing? Do they know what each of the banks commonly, how long it takes? They can ask the other realtor, how long have you worked on the file? Where are you at? How many offers do you have in? Are you submitting only one offer? Are you submitting all offers? So there's various things an experienced short sale lister can help you on the buying end as well.
And Sarah, I've done, I think I quit counting at 400 is how many short sales I've completed. And another good red flag for finding a broker as well is if you have a company that's charging you upfront fees to do a short sale, mortgage modification, whatever the case may be, stay away from them. A client I'm talking to right now paid a company in California, it was an internet-based company, $3,200 to do a mortgage modification. Somebody on the task force can refer him to a HUD-approved counseling agency. We have over 25, I believe, in the Denver area, and they can do it for free. And right now, I talked to the gentleman last night, he's out his $3,200 and there's no mortgage modification. So, there's a lot of pitfalls out there for homeowners, and Billie's right. I mean, I have agents ask me, how long have I been in the business, how many short sales have I done, because if you're dealing with a listing broker that this is his 5th one and he's telling you he's an expert, good luck with that one.
The reason why a short sale may be a better deal than a foreclosure is, let's think about the patient bleeding out. A foreclosure, the patient has completely bled out. There isn't anything left. They're dead. The short sale, hopefully, is in the process where the bank can quit bleeding. They are more willing to take a look at offers on short sales that might be a little bit below fair market value because they haven't put all the expense into going all the way through the foreclosure process, sitting on the property, finding the REO agent, having it broke into, having it vandalized, etc. So they're willing, when they're doing a short sale, they've got usually a very cooperative homeowner in that home who loves their home, who shows pride in their home, keeps it clean, keeps the lawn up. And that is a much better buy than going possibly to the REO that now has been priced at $150,000, has 26 bidders, and they just bid it up to $190,000.
And she's right on with what she's saying. I have just as many investors buying my short sales now as I do owner occupants. It's amazing. That wasn't that way a year ago. But this year, the dynamics have changed, and probably 50% of my short sales are going to investors because they are just as good a buy or a better buy than an REO can be, especially on your FHA short sales. Your FHA workouts, you basically can get that short sale pre-approved. Billie does a lot of them as well, so she knows that. You can get that short sale pre-approved. It makes our life a whole lot easier. And then the buyer doesn't have a 3 or 4 month waiting period. I've got one right now with a local lender here. We got accepted into the FHA workout program. We had the short sale offer approved in less than a week. Those are the ones you want to look for as a buyer's agent too.